Hello, and welcome to Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. I'm Gabriella Espinosa, life shift catalyst and creator of Pure Soul Alchemy. I'll be taking us through a soul realignment process for the next 30 minutes. So be sure to find a nice, comfortable place where you can lay down, relax, and receive this session. Pure Soul Alchemy is a transmission of channeled healing technologies which restructure your creative source grid. Transformative operations and procedures are enacted for you while you comfortably relax. Through my perception and vocalization of the inner energetic grid, we are opened in ways which allow these technologies to come into our physical reality and enact change on our behalf. There will be quite a few moments of silence as I'm being with these processes. Relax into the silence during these times and receive the healing energies. Don't focus too much on what is being said. Just relax and let the transmission of the words come through you and work on you. To learn more about upcoming Pure Soul Alchemy classes, events, and about scheduling your own personal Pure Soul Alchemy session, go to www.puresoulalchemy.com. It's quite helpful to go back and listen again repeatedly and often to deepen the effects of the session and take the healing further. Today's show is a healing session to release pressure and overwhelm from your life. I've been hearing from so many people lately about how overwhelmed they feel. Right now, life is delivering an ever-increasing amount of intensity. It's asking us to make changes in our lives. And as if that weren't enough, we are increasingly putting all kinds of needless pressures on ourselves at a time when Spirit is asking us not to. We have a very real need to restructure our lives for greater peace and efficiency. Tune in to release some of the energetic intensity that has accumulated and create the space for positive change. This is the time of the great clash. Our old personas that were built around pain and the avoidance of pain are clashing up against our authentic beings that are answering the call to be free and express. This is a battle of love. The question we are posing in this session to ourselves, to our souls, is can we love ourselves as we truly are enough to let the chains of our perceptions of who we are and who we have been and who we ought to be fall away? We're asking these questions to our souls, and we are patiently awaiting its answers and directions. So I'm going to go over briefly a few of the healing points we're going to cover in our session today. These came in prior to the session as directives for me to address in our time together. So number one is overexertion on another's cause. And we'll go into more detail about that later. Number two, transferring perception to unrealistic future outcomes. Number three, martyrdom hypnosis. I think that one speaks for itself. Number four, the downward spiral of seeking the approval of others. Number five, overemphasis on doing rather than being. So now take some deep breaths and bring into your awareness and into your heart, into your pelvic bowl region, any area of your life where you would like to reformulate into a place of calm, resourceful receptivity. Reformulating to being guided and informed by the higher spirit that you are. Visualize your workload, to-do lists are shrinking. shrinking into more efficient, divinely planned out, divinely methodical, and uber effective. Visualize your relationship to that which has been stressful to you being transformed to one of crystal clear certainty and ease. Know that it is completely apparent where you begin and where you end. You now have a stronger and deeper connection to who you truly are and what you are about. So now it is easy to let go of everything that is not true for you. See yourself allowing old stresses and inauthentic identities to fall away, requiring no efforting on your part. And thus you are now becoming more solid in your core values. And you think, speak, and act from that automatically in all situations and relationships. Witness your authentic self growing, so much so that its happily engaged influence permeates every part of your waking life. Letting that take hold in your sight, in your heart, and in your life. As we go through our session and reposition your core persona as the central part of your personal identity in your energy grid. So we're connecting with our divine physical and non-physical intelligence to align completely with our own core essence. We're aligning with the fundamental and essential aspects of ourselves. We're aligning with the earth, the sun, the moon, with our own Mother, Father, God self, with our own inherent Creator self, and our right placement in the universe. The one pure healing source within us is our own deepest aspect, our own God aspect. We agree to serve as our own healing agent and to serve from and as our own ultimate inner counsel, the all that I am. So the first healing point we're going to start working on is the martyrdom hypnosis. And I was not given a lot of information about this one, but it sure sounds like a great one to disperse and deconstruct. So we're just going to spend a little bit of time with this particular healing point. Performing very simple healing actions of disassembly. All right, we're doing some work on our brain functioning. Okay, there's a level of disallowance that has gone on for a very long time. This is in terms of a balanced brain function, brain chemistry. So we are releasing this stance of disallowance and incorporating a healthy, balanced brain chemistry functioning. Another angle of that is holding on to pain needlessly. Oh my, for the comfort of others. Others' egos, obviously. So let's go ahead and dismantle that one. That phrase, misery loves company. It's the patterns of misery that have their clutches on people. They want to enlist others to participate and reinforce their skewed and wounded reality. And that's what we're dismantling here in a big way. It's interesting that this one would show up first as primary. It makes sense because something like that really distorts our ability to co-create with Spirit, with God, a beautiful life, a beautiful divinely guided life. Okay, this other healing point is related to it, so we're gonna work on it simultaneously. This one is overexertion on another's cause. Okay, so so we've got several processes already going, and what's coming up big time is a big, profound solar plexus healing. This is the area that encompasses our abdomen below the diaphragm, or from the diaphragm downward towards a little bit below the navel. So let's see what we're going to do there. Okay, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and release a whole bunch of fearful distortions that have, it's very simple. The fear really is about fear of being empowered. And there's a lot of things that we're afraid of: fear of being attacked, fear of being noticed, fear of notoriety, fear of just the unfamiliar. It's unfamiliar to us to stand and exalt from our greatness. Anything else to do in the solar plexus? There is. I'm just going to kind of wait for it. Apparently we need to do this first before we take on that other healing point. Okay, yes. Confusion. We're going to release a tendency to reside in confusion. Confusion about who we are, what we're about, what our divinely planned life is about. Confusion is just a distraction from our fear of stepping into our greatness. So that's what we are disassembling at this time. And reframing to the peacefulness, the ease, and the sense of rightness that comes from residing in and exalting from our greatness. Great, that's going to keep going. And we're going to go ahead and begin working on overexertion on another's cause. I'm going to start disassembling that. This is where we frame another's way of life over our own. This is avoidance tendencies, lies, preoccupations, the archetype of overbearing mother, reactiveness, and regression. So all of these themes are being addressed as we clear this healing point, overexertion on another's cause. Okay, and then a fatalistic viewpoint of life. Ouch. That one has a lot of zing to it for, I think, all of us collectively. Let's go ahead and clear reverberations of distress. Being over-formulated to another's will. Okay, so we're going to do a balancing of the tension of holding on to our lives, ourselves, and firm footing. Okay, there's been a gravity displacement. This is the gravitational pull of the earth, the magnetic flow of life on this planet. So we're going to do some corrective procedures on that. Just a little information is that I do quite a bit of deep breathing in order to move some of these energies. Just letting you know I'm okay. Great, so we're doing also a massive heart center clearing. Okay, something about our heart. Is it our heart? Yeah, our heart being transfixed in a particular perspective. So we're just hanging out with that. We don't want to do too much at one point because it could be a little overwhelming. So we're just going to kind of sit with this situation and just wait for it to release at its own pace and choosing and comfort level. Great, so that heart cleansing that is going on, just kind of shifting the perspective towards a more appropriate and self-loving place. Beautiful. Just a little bit longer on that one. Our hearts are so very tender. And it's important to be very gentle with our hearts. Great. So we're going to do a little bit more clean out of that healing piece of martyrdom, hypnosis. a lot of these processes are going to keep going. And we're going to start working on this one, transferring perception to unrealistic future outcomes. That's a really nice one to let go of. This is anxious delusion over enthusiastic misappropriations of following a grand path that is not yours. As we are naming these pieces, we are clearing them. A detrimental outer field focus that results in myopic, distorted vision and incorrectly burdens one with the consciousness of overzealousness. Clearing unbridled biological flow rhythms. Unconscious decisions coming in from the outside of ourselves. And again, as we're naming these, we are putting them in for clearing. Planetary life reverberations. Clearing that impact as well. So we're being bombarded every nanosecond with what's going on the planet. Okay, that is enacting some really nice shifting in our Temple's brain, and there's another part in there. It's a part in our brain. I think it's the thalamus. It's the thalamus. Okay. So we're installing new decision-making capacities that downplay and override their efforts. Seeing, and these are the distortions that come in from the outside, the distortions. Seeing them for what they are, seeing them as not who we are, and releasing any power or method of control that they have over us. Clearing distortive planetary anchorings, clearing confusions from the outside. So right now we are doing a massive clearing of this healing point, transferring perception to unrealistic future outcomes. And there's quite a bit of aspects of that are being covered as well. Right, so at this time we're going to go ahead and just do a very general, broad spectrum clearing on the individual stresses, life stresses, energetic stresses, familial stresses, relationship stresses, health stresses that are going on in each of our lives at this time. And we're leaving that very general so that it can go in and create positive shift for each of us in our own way. All right, this is interesting. I'm just getting a visual of, and this probably corresponds with some of the processes we've already done, but I'm getting a visual of our higher guides, angelic helpers, higher beings coming in and doing it's almost like a physical cleansing of there's a part of our auric field that takes up about 2 to 3 inches. It's about 2 to 3 inches thick, and it's all around us, and it actually begins about about 6 inches out from our individual fields. So it's about 2 to 3 inches thick. And I'm not receiving the name of what that auric field layer is, but we're doing a massive cleansing. I'll just use the analogy of dirt, grime, buildup, residue, toxicity, chemicals. All right, that's going to keep going, and we're going to go ahead and clear downward spiral of seeking the approval of others. Ouch. I say ouch because I can feel the intensity of how deep this one goes. Okay, so we're dismantling the downward spiral, the program of the downward spiral of seeking the approval of others. We're also doing a clearing on overemphasis on doing rather than being, living from fixed ideas and beliefs rather than being in the flow of life. Great. So we're enhancing our ability to go in the flow and be and live in the flow of life. I'd like to thank you for joining Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. To learn more about